Howdy, got another goodie for you today, and once again, it ain't exactly alive and it ain't exactly dead. So we're gonna open a box that's been buried in for Lord knows how long and see what comes out.
I had a knife. I didn't know what to do with it, so I stuck it in his box. And here I'm pulling out the inner sarcophagus. And I have that all the way out to discover it was not the original. Been reburied at some point. Darn it. And here we start pulling out stuffings after cutting the tape on, cutting the closures on the end of the sarcophagus to begin pulling the body out. And here we go. In a pretty good state of preservation, I dare say, for something from between 68 and 70.
Okay, how about that? I thought when I first saw the end of that inner box, I thought, hot damn, I got the box the rifle came in too. You pull the whole thing out, and it's one of those boxes from a 4-foot shop light, like we put above the workbench and all that stuff in the garage. Dang. But an unusual piece, and I swear this thing don't feel like more about 3.5 pounds. Crosman Model 700 CO2 rifle, single 12-gram cartridge. And it's got the logo and the Pell Master here. The older 160 was a Pell gun, and even the Model 70 says model numbers, hashtag 70 Pell gun. Then of course you've got, when they quit building this one, they also quit building the Variant 1 760 Power Master. So they combined the names and made Pell Master. Why does it always sound like one of those old cartoons, like the Master Cylinder and all that? But anyway, there it is. And I kind of like how this bolt sticks up like the old Japanese Akasara from World War II. Now it's really odd. It holds one CO2 cartridge, and this one, the barrel lines up with the entire action. The whole thing is right there. There ain't nothing down in here but that rocker, the piece of metal made like a rocker with the trigger on it. And it takes this little pin through it, just like the 160. So let me show you here. You unscrew this. Then I'm at 80 medium thread, boy. And it's got snap rings and everything in there. It's a multi-piece thing since you got this button on the back. You put the CO2 cartridge in there butt first, the big end. Drop of oil on the little end as usual. And try not to cross thread it when you put it back on. If it doesn't screw on real easy, then you've got it cross threaded. You got to stop and do it again. And then there's a little pin that goes through right there. If you can see that. Holds this button, you just like that to pierce the cartridge. And once again, like I said, it's got a bolt like the old Akasara. And up like this, it's safety. You got to pull it down to cock it. Now watch when I pull the trigger. That's pretty firm. Just pulling it down in that position, right? Now watch the bolt. Forward, click. You can hear it cocking back here. Pull it back up, and then you got this knob here. Instead of a bolt probe where you pull the bolt back to open the breech and all that, no, you got none of that here. You got this knob and a little hole right there. Okay, you can see metal, like a metal cylinder shape at the bottom of the hole, right? So you turn the knob back that way towards the back. No, towards the front. I'm sorry. About 10 degrees maybe. Not quite 90 degrees. Just 3/4 of that. And then it opens the breech. See how you can see another hole down in there? That's where the pellet goes. You got to push the pellet all the way down, even with the top of the lower hole. So you're going to need some sort of a short rammer like you use with the muzzle loader to get where you use it to get the ball and the patch started. That's what this thing's going to need to get the pellet started. So I'm going to have to make something like that. Then anyway, you rotate it backwards so it locks into the detent. You hear that? Now you can see that metal again, right? The breech is now closed and aligned with the barrel. So you snap the bolt down, that you got it loaded. And tung. So I think I'll leave it like that to keep the spring decompressed and let that relax a little bit. And it needs a little cleaning. So we'll get to that right quick and then have another look at it. Get some oil soaking into it. That's an elm stock too, okay? Now look at this side, you can really tell what I've been telling you guys about the difference between, say, white oak and elm. Look at that soft swirl to the grain patterns. And you see a lot more pores between the grain lines, what will be the circles, you know what I mean. The elm has more pores showing than oak does. And oak, the grain patterns on oak look more like the whorls on your fingers. It's a tighter, more specific looking sort of pattern. Whereas, as you can see, like down in here and stuff, that this is elm because it's like ripples in a pond with the wider ripples around that thing. That's a classic sign of elm. Nice stuff. And here is a closer look at the rear sight. Pretty typical, except it's cut different right here than the 760, for instance, or the 160 for that matter. And you can see how thick the barrel is. There's a nice barrel on this thing, 22 caliber. And it's a typical blade sight with the V-block rear, but it's got the shroud on the front, which is pretty neat. And you see the 3C Crossman thing on the knob right there. It always reminds me of Con Amalgamated from that Sean Connery movie Outland, where they were mining on Io. That's what that logo reminds me of. So we'll wipe it down with some oil here, and then we'll see what we get. Okay, got it all cleaned up. Not looking too bad. A little cloudy and it's getting late, so sorry about the lighting. I need some lighting panels. But you can see the details on the stock look a little better, and the bluing looks nice. Looks way better when you get it scrubbed down real good. Let's see now, and right in here is where it says Crossman, Pellmaster, and all the you know, all that stuff. I don't know if you can see that. And you want to keep the bolt, the tension off the bolt, keep it down like that. You can see that bolt is real dark bluing too. It looks pretty good. And trigger guard is black plastic. Otherwise, it's looking pretty decent. So we will get a lot of rusty finger dirt off of this thing too. Let me just turn that upside down. I thought that'd probably be easier. Okay, it basically goes in like this. Now you use, it says use the Pel Gun silicone oil on this one for other places, but I'm going to use some of this old standard, drop of that on the end of the CO2 cartridge, which has been the standard for a long time. Stock's a little oily yet from wiping it down. I tried to wipe it best I could. You hear that? Just bopping that thing. Go. Okay. Oh, sorry. Air Arms Dome Diabolos. It's 16 grains even. See if we can shoot this thing. Okay. Boy, it's hard to pull that back. And then pull that down. Let's see if it works. Ooh, wee, accurate too. I was aiming for the dot, red dot on the left there, but to the right. Bang! Right where I wanted to put it. So now we know it works. Let's see. Put it up on safety like that. I'm starting to think that's what you got to do before you put the pellet in. I've never shot one of these. It's real oddball, which is totally cool. That's why I bought it, not because it's powerful and you can, you can hunt big fat squirrels or something with it, but because it's an oddball. Okay, hold it like that and turn the knob back, and that seems to, and then push the bolt down. I can't believe that thing just going right where you put it. That's pretty good for open sights and just, kind of eyeballing it real quick. How about that? I'm gonna leave it down like that though. But anyway, there it is, folks. The Crosman Model 700. There is no build date whatsoever on it. But as I said, they were built from 68 to 71. Or 68 to 70, I'm sorry. They started building these 2 years after the 760 Power Master Variant 1. And they quit building these the same year the Variant 1 stopped and the Variant 2, etc. came along. No, that's just some marks. Well, I'll pull the action out and have a look at it. We'll see if we can find some more discernible markings, which I seriously doubt. And just as a matter of note, here's the patches from cleaning it. These are Brownells woven cleaning patches, 1 3/8 inch. Here's the bag to come in, brownells.com. They even got the round 7/8 ones I use for 177.22 and everything. They had a 1,000 count bag for a good price. And here's the 3-inch patches I used to wipe the oil, dirty oil off and everything. A lot of rust and finger dirt. Pretty typical. And moistened with good old Rem oil. I like using this on the outside. And I also got some Ballistol for wiping them down with when they're going to sit on the rack for a while. Like to say, that stuff really does work good for that. It's like 90% like some kind of clear, fine machine oil. That's maybe 10 weight. Mixed with maybe 10% beeswax. The way it just describes petroleum distillate something, like a byproduct, which wax is. So I think that there's beeswax or something mixed with it because it feels like it and acts like it when you use it. Because you can also use it to lubricate your patches with when you use patch and ball and a muzzle loader. The stuff's all Ballistol is also good for that. So there we are for this installment. Happy Halloween. Be safe out there and don't be assholes to the kids. They're our altar of tomorrow. Teach them right and it'll be a better world. So again, that's the pellets we were shooting. Seems to like them fine. Although a lighter, that's a 16 grain, a lighter pellet, like say 14 or maybe even the Gamma, the Platinum PVA at 9.7 would make that thing pretty hot. We'll see. Once I get the money for a Caldwell G2, my other ones just don't want to work in here anymore. Then we can test them. And we'll be getting out there and having some fun with the kids. It's a family thing, the Halloween, and time to make some memories, folks. Besides teaching your children proper gun handling and safety, and teach them how to shoot safely. Teach them what they're for and what they are not for. A little food for thought this Halloween night. So, good Lord willing, the creeks don't rise. We'll see you again.